completely changed and nobody told you? Yeah, you're not alone. We're living in a new financial reality, and honestly, it can feel pretty overwhelming. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise, get some clarity, and lay out a real path forward. Let's get right into it.
So, does this sound familiar? You're working harder than ever. Maybe you're even making more money, but it just feels like you're not actually getting ahead. It's this constant battle between living your life today and trying to save for tomorrow, and most of the time, it feels like you're just treading water. If that hits home for you, trust me, you are in very, very good company.
In fact, check this number out, 71%. That's the percentage of Americans with a side hustle who say they need it just to survive. Let that sink in. This isn't some kind of personal failure. It's a massive, systemic reality. The pressure is real, and it's a huge sign that the whole financial world has shifted under our feet.
So, here's the roadmap for our journey today. First, we're going to define this new financial reality. Then, we'll get into why the old ways of doing things just don't work anymore. From there, we'll introduce a really powerful new mindset called spendfulness, show you how to put it into action, and finally, tie it all back to the real goal, living what we call a well-spent life.
All right, let's dive into part one, the new financial reality. You know, if you think back a generation or two, you could make a few financial mistakes and, well, you'd probably be okay. That world, it's gone. Today, being in the dark about your finances isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's genuinely dangerous. It's like having a slow leak that quietly drains your resources and your future. And that brings us right to our second point. Just guessing your way through it doesn't work anymore. The financial roadmap that our parents or grandparents used, it's totally outdated. It's like trying to navigate a new city with a map from 1985. It's no wonder so many of us feel lost. We need a whole new set of tools, and more importantly, a new way of thinking.
So what's making things so different? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of huge forces all hitting us at the same time. We're living longer, which means retirement could last 30 years or more. Then you've got inflation, which means if your money's just sitting there, you're actually falling behind. AI is changing everything about how money works. There's a massive transfer of wealth happening between generations, creating all sorts of uncertainty. For so many people, debt has become a permanent part of life. And on top of all that, the markets move faster than any human can react. Any one of these is a game changer. All of them together, it makes financial guesswork an absolute recipe for disaster.
And you know, it's not just these big external forces we have to worry about. We've also got our own internal challenges. Let's call them the money monsters. These are the little, seemingly harmless habits that just quietly eat away at our financial future, one paycheck at a time.
First up, we've got the subscription slime. Oh, you know this one. It's that free trial that's now a year old, or those 5 or 6 small monthly charges you barely even notice. But they add up. Get this, the average person underestimates how much they spend on subscriptions by over 70%. What you think is maybe $40 a month is probably over $100 just oozing out of your account.
And then there's the lifestyle werewolf. This is that super sneaky habit where your spending just magically expands every time you get a raise. That bigger paycheck instantly transforms into a bigger car payment or a fancier apartment. And before you know it, you're making more money than ever, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck, never actually building any wealth.
Okay, so that's the tough stuff. We've got this challenging new world and these internal money monsters working against us. So, what's the solution? Where do we go? Well, the answer isn't some crazy, restrictive budget. It's actually a completely new mindset, a new way of thinking about your money that we call spendfulness. So, what in the world is spendfulness? It's really simple. It's about getting your spending perfectly aligned with the life you actually want to live. It means every financial decision is intentional. And the best part? It's about finally getting rid of that nagging second guessing and that constant guilt that can hang over every purchase.
And this right here shows the difference perfectly. Let's imagine you want to buy concert tickets. In scenario 1, the guess, you kind of glance at your bank account, you're not really sure, you swipe the credit card anyway, and then comes that feeling of guilt. But now look at scenario 2, the plan. Here, you've already set money aside for fun stuff like this. You don't just buy the tickets, you buy the good seats, and you do it completely guilt-free, because you know it was money well spent. That feeling of confidence on the right, that is spendfulness.
But look, a mindset is only half the battle, right? For it to really mean something, you have to put it into action. And putting your money to work means playing both defense and offense. It's about protecting what you have, growing what you earn, and planning for what's coming down the road. Let's look at a few quick examples.
First, let's talk defense. And this is a big one, life insurance. A lot of us just kind of check the box with the basic policy we get from work, but that's often just 1 times your annual salary. Now look at the reality. What a family actually needs to be secure is more like 10 to 15 times your income. That huge difference is what we call the workplace life insurance illusion, and it shows why you have to be intentional about this stuff.
Okay, now for some offense, using modern tools to actually grow your income. And this data is just fascinating. Remember all those people who need a side hustle to get by? Well, check this out. People who use AI tools for things like marketing or just being more efficient, they earn on average more than double those who don't. We're talking $876 a month versus $394. That's a huge advantage in this new economy.
And finally, there's planning for the long game. This means having those tough but absolutely necessary conversations. Long-term care is something 83% of us avoid talking about until it's a full-blown crisis. But it doesn't have to be so scary. Just starting with these 5 simple questions about what you'd want, how to pay for it, and who does what can create a clear, actionable plan that protects everybody.
So, we've gone through the new reality, the spendfulness mindset, and some real actions you can take. But all of this leads to the most important question of all. What's the point? What are we actually building? Because the goal isn't just to be good with money, the goal is to build a well-spent life. This quote just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. When you're a kid, money is just pure possibility. But somewhere along the way, as adults, it becomes a chore, a source of stress. The whole idea of spendfulness is to get that childhood imagination back, to stop seeing money as a problem you have to manage and start seeing it again as a tool to build the exact life you want.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Every single dollar you have represents a piece of your time, your focus, your energy. In a way, it's your life's energy, condensed into financial form. So the only question that really matters is, what are you building with it? Thanks so much for watching.